Hey y'all, grown black folks talk. Still out on the climb, actually headed home, but stopped because I've taken an exceptionally long walk today. So I give myself a moment to I'm in no hurry. I have a turnaround time and a distance and how long I'm going to take to get there and how fast back, because that's just what you should do if you are my size and you plan to do long walking. It's wise to think of yourself as a mountain climber staging a real climb. Places you make camp and rest. Breathe for a minute, let the muscles relax for a bit, and then get up and move on. So as I was on my way back from this is the last stage before I actually do that last bit to my home. And you see stuff blowing into your eyes on camera. Hold on, y'all. Here we go. Y'all didn't need to see all that. Anyway, as I was out at before my turnaround point, we talked about Tempest Tyler and putting him back in the teapot he belongs in with his comments. But that also gave me occasion to talk about something I've actually recorded this video twice and have thought about for days and days, because I want to be sensitive in how I say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. If you read the title, Stop Slumming Over the Teapots, ladies. Stop it. Unless you want to be a rich man's concubine, you don't really need to be listening to men that are of that mindset. Why are we still giving the manosphere any kind of attention, since we know that's their intent? Now, I've discussed this from a number of different perspectives, but this one, because I understand the pain that we are in as black women when we consider the situations that we and our children often find ourselves in, because men do not want to be good fathers and husbands, or don't feel that they should and that we should accept less. I understand that. But it is necessary for us to understand what we are doing when we continue to go from people to be mad at, people to be mad at, people to be mad at, outrage after outrage after outrage after outrage. That says something about us. And here's what it says. To anyone who has grown past it, to the very men you say you want, here's what it says. And to the women that will help you in your growth to get there. That says you are more interested in sitting with your friends and being self-righteous than you are in doing righteous work. In other words, you're more concerned with feeling better than doing better. The manosphere is like this too, but I've talked about how a lot of black men and women are going to mirror each other into destruction. It's the same process. People would rather get together and be mad about what their counterpart said than go do the work to be righteous. In the British Empire, its heyday, this is a practice that was nearly reconstituted here in San Francisco, California, this year. It was fashionable to do something called slumming. The rich of the empire, who were financing and benefiting, in other words, being rich and staying rich, by virtue of impoverishing a third of the world at the height of the British Empire's extent. These are the people that benefited the most from slavery, for that matter. So by the time you get to 1919, with the empire at its absolute height, we're looking at 300 years of unjust enrichment. And of course, of arrogating this unjust enrichment only to themselves and not to the people of lower classes that they considered not much better than slaves. So they would amuse themselves because their consciences knew what they were doing was wrong. One of the ways they helped to sear off their consciences, they would love to get in their fine carriages and in their fine clothes and go down on Skid Row and look at how the poors lived. And they would make themselves feel better and feel righteous by comparison to the behavior of these impoverished people. Because impoverished people have a set of sins that they are more likely to fall into. And people who are too rich unjustly have a set of sins, but people excuse what they do themselves in favor of looking down on someone else. San Francisco almost did a doom loop tour this summer, but fortunately that got shut down in the nick of time. For those who need to know, San Francisco has about a very bad 1.5 miles, like most cities do. And people want to go back to slumming here. The inequality has reached that point. Does anybody know what happened to the British Empire in the 30 years after 1919? We talk a lot about Germany falling because of its Nazi sins, but people forget the British Empire fell too. Hitler had 12 years of foolery to pay for, and so did Germany. Great Britain had 300. Now roll that around in your mind. Does anybody ever really escape? Would the United States escape? That's a different video. Well, no, Great Britain 400, because we had to remember the United States colony, the British colony started in 1607, so yeah, 400 counted. So nobody escapes. Spoiler alert. Therefore, you may expect that the United States won't either. Different video. Point is, these people slummed, did sightseeing among the poors, so that they could feel better about themselves. Bunch of self-righteous, depraved criminals against humanity. But this is how they made themselves feel better and to feel self-righteous and better than other people. Well, ladies, we have to come to terms with the fact that just as much as the men are, we are watching them slide into depravity, and we are slumming. Going from outrage to outrage. Oh, well, let's get this tea. You are basically up here talking about to the queen, hey queen, to the queen, and slumming. Because after a while, if you are growing, your taste to view depravity should be decreasing. Your taste for watching if you are growing, your taste for watching other people flounder around should be decreasing. Your taste for constantly being mad and constantly moving around and back and forth and spending all that energy there should be redirected into bettering your situation if you are growing. But if you are just as depraved as the people that you're looking at, but just not openly expressing it, yeah, it's going to be perfectly natural for you to always be outraged and hate watching. I'll give you a very good example. This is a beautiful late summer day, and we're at the time of year between mid-August and mid-November when San Francisco has its most beautiful days. But every day that I have come out and walked has not been a day that I posted a video. Every day has not been glorious like this. It has not. I have taken a lot of walks on days I would have rather have not done it. Why? Because sitting at home watching my 600-pound life doesn't help me. Nor does watching, the fashion models of the haute couture world. I can sit up and wish all day long that I had a body like a fashion model. And I can sit up here all day long and talk about at least I'm not in my 600-pound life. Does either of that help me do the things I need to do with my weight? It does not. So if I am going to better my situation, if I am going to have right outcomes for myself and those I love in the next 20 to 40 to 50 years, maybe I'm kind of looking at my dad who is approaching his 90s, so it's possible that I can make it that far. If that's going to be me, then I got stuff I got to do. Now, I'm probably never going to be a skinny mini. My father isn't that now, and now there's my mom, and they're just rolling on with just healthy, large people. But I can do better than what I'm doing now. So that's why I'm out here. It's not always as beautiful as it is today. But the point is, it's my job to get that done. Watching anybody else isn't helping me. Talking about body positivity isn't helping me. Watching other people who are in worse shape than I am isn't helping me. Wishing I was smaller than I am isn't helping me. So I gotta still go home and eat collard greens. And some protein. And still limit my sugars. And that's what I gotta do today. That's what I gotta do. Next meal, chickpea tofu, beans and rice. Probably. That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. I can't look at anybody else to feel better. I can't slum on the 600-pound life. I can't go online and find people waddling around and make myself feel better. That's not how any of this works. So I'll use myself as the example to make it easy for you to see what I'm talking about. The other thing that's going on is I'm in a process of putting forth a book. I'm going to be talking definitely more about it in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to do a free release of it initially. But I'm collecting beta readers for Season the Crypto Bull Run for financial freedom. And in doing this, I'm thinking seriously about the black women that I know and who I can do real business with and who I can't. And that largely divides down the lines of, are you busy slumming? Worried about what everybody else is doing that you think is less than what you're doing? Are you getting your work done, and will this idea find a home for you? If I'm going to give you a head start on the head start, are you ready for that? I went through this last year, round about the 18th of June. And I had to recognize that a lot of people I spent my time with were more interested in looking at depravity and feeling better relative to it than getting the work done. And getting the work done to better things for themselves and others. It is a hard realization. The lesson has been repeating itself at intervals since the spring of this year. It's now been almost 6 months. And with it having been almost 6 months, in the aftermath, being able to turn around, reconsider, look at who's grown, look at who is still stuck, I realized that the process of continuing to move forward and do the work that goes with having better is always going to require separation from those that, at least for the time being, aren't interested. A lot of us want to slum over the teapots to the queen and feel like we the queen because we better than somebody else. A lot of us are in that mode. Ladies, if you want something out of your life, and when I say something, I mean all that you're supposed to get, what you're going to need to do is to stop going from outrage to outrage to outrage. Stop spending time looking at men that are not within your reach, number one, nor should you want that if you're not interested in being a rich man's concubine. Now, if that is what you're interested in, carry on. These men are telling you what they want. Go become that. Even then, you're going to have to do a little bit of work. But hey, if that's what you want, great. But you can't then talk about choose better, because you're not choosing better by choosing to feel better and be self-righteous and get together with other women interested in doing. You're not choosing better. You're choosing to be tethered right there with what you say you hate, but you can't get enough of. The old saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. Because we can always look at someone doing better than us and be upset. The reverse is also true. Comparison is the thief of progress. Because you can also look at someone worse than yourself and think you're going somewhere, but you're not. This is not the most fun video for me to have made. I expect that many of you will like the first video better than this one. But if we're going to put Tippers Tyler and all the men like him who just just do not understand how to get this thing in order, we also need to do what? Get in order. And our getting in order has nothing to do with giving over much attention to people we feel are more depraved than we are and feeling self-righteous because we're not them. That's not how any of this works. We have to be accountable to getting the work done. Just like I got to be accountable for this last half mile to get back to my home now. Y'all have a good day now. If you stayed this long, thank you for listening. Bye.